Okay, what up, friendos? Welcome back. This is the third video in a row I'm recording about some kind of MMORPG drama, but it might be the first one to be uploaded, so hello, hi, you've probably not seen me for months. Good to be back. I am going to be back full-time making content for YouTube now, on both channels, but I figured we'd start with all the MMO drama I've been missing out on, and this is a wild one. Ship of Heroes. I have the creator of this blocked on my emails, apparently, for no reason other than he just kept emailing me to cover the game, and then I kept looking at the game and I was like, nah, I'm good. It doesn't look very good. And you know, if I want to cover something, I will, and if you just constantly email me about it, then I'm probably just not going to, because it's annoying. But at the same time, you know, I've been aware of this project for a long time. I was aware of it. I've been signed up to their newsletter for a long time. I think I unsigned up from it a couple of years ago in maybe 2022 or something. They are releasing on Steam in 2 hours. And the reason I wanted to record this now is so that I could get my opinion forever immortalized on the internet before I'm proven right or wrong. And that is to say, oh my god, look, it's fucking bargain bin Josh Drive Hayes. Look, they it's fucking Josh Drive Hayes from Temu. I just wanted to get my opinion out there so people can have it, whether they care or not, whatever, and see, you know, what happens. Ship of Heroes, what's the drama? Well, it's a game that looks like it was made in 2010. It's releasing in late 2025, and it's going to cost... If you stand in, you know, you might be listening to me on your phone, you might be listening to me laying in bed, you know, sit up, get in your gamer position, brace for fucking impact. This game is going to cost 60 United States dollars, not 60 fucking Zimbabwean dollars, 60 United States dollars, Trump dollars. and the fact I need to say "and" after that lets you know this is fucked. And it's going to have a fucking subscription, a monthly subscription. Let me move this cup because I'm getting so animated. I might just knock it off my fucking desk. A $15 per month subscription. If you pay yearly, good luck to you, because I doubt this game will be fucking functional in a year's time at this pricing. You get it for $144. You get 20% off. You save 20%. What a fucking bargain. What a deal. So you can spend $75. Do you get the first month for free? The pricing, download and active subscription will give access to everything in the game. There are no microtransactions, no cash up, no premium add-ons, no deluxe launch packages. I should fucking hope so. It's $75 for a month of game time. The initial download is $60 plus an active subscription gives access to everything in the current game, and added in the 2 years after launch. 1 month access is included in the initial download fee. So never mind, your first month isn't 75, your first month is 60. So you do get the 1 month like you used to back in the golden days, back in the good old days when you'd go to fucking Game Station or Game or whatever, or, you know, if you're in America, Best Buy, and you get your little box for your World of Warcraft or your Star Wars, the Old Republic or whatever, and you'd run home and you get in your little gym jams, get your hot cocoa, load the game up, make your account. Your initial purchase would give you 1 month of in-game time. You'd probably still have to put a credit card in, but then obviously you get to play for that first month like the good old days. This is not the good old days. It's 2025. If you're... Bro... You can't charge $60 for this game. You can't. And if you're going to, it needs to be free to play. Like, it is what it is. But the drama isn't... Let me just say, by the way, if you want to charge $7 million for this game, that's your choice. You own the thing. Do whatever the fuck you want with it. I couldn't care less. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's absolutely fucking stupid. But... You own it. You charge $100, charge $500, charge a $600 monthly subscription. I don't care. You look stupid, but it is what it is. It's your thing. Do what you're going to do. But That's not the problem. The problem is what the owner does and says afterwards, because it just makes the game look absolutely fucking stupid. Yes, somebody posting, Integral is the developer. He posts and says, "You are of course entitled to your opinion. We have had a dozen alphas and betas along the development that has given people the advantage to see inside the game. We've had irrelevant, by the way. Who gives a fuck? It's you launch it on Steam. It's going to be seen by new eyeballs. What previous eyeballs have seen is irrelevant. If that was the case, if you don't care about the Steam eyeballs, don't launch on Steam. Like, what the fuck is the relevance of this? We've had more than 60 video updates showing the game and over 100 newsletters showing the game in detail. This is far too much for anyone to claim that we are an unknown. To people on Steam, you are. Like, what are people going to log on and see the game launch and be like, oh, need to go and do my thesis on Ship of Heroes and go and look through all these things? No, you are a completely new entity to people on Steam. You're just popping up for the first time for them. You might as well not exist until the moment that they see it. That's how this works. If you personally need the assurance that studios made other games for you to buy from them, you are entitled to this opinion. I don't think this is like a thing you need, but at the same time, asking people that don't know who you are to just like, oh, $60 is their choice. If they want to spend that, you know, I don't think this is like a super valid criticism, but it is what it is. Please understand that others may feel differently. Each price point and structure will garner a different base of players with different purchase behaviors. We hope we have selected well for our desired results. It's not going to go well. It is what it is. This is not going to earn almost any money. You misunderstand, unfortunately. Most indie games are not priced the same as AAA games. This is true. Yeah, I mean, this is just a statement of fact. Showing videos, having an alpha or test doesn't do anything to guarantee the longevity of a game. I'll be watching it to see how it does, but the price point is way too high for me to buy day one, with the very real possibility of being unsustainable at that price. It would be better if the game was priced lower, as you want as many players as possible for a new MMO to cover server and development costs. Better to have 20k people at $9.99 than 5k at $14.99, both in terms of sustainability and community. This is true. But they are the developer. You know, you can give your input, and if they don't want to hear it, they don't want to hear it. It is what it is. And then he just responds and says, we understand your financial constraints and respect them, which kind of sounds like, okay, then broke boy. You know, the old Pokemon meme? Sounds like a broke boy, or whatever the fuck she said, when people were talking about her massively overpriced white labeled cookies. And then this pops up, right? There was people posting on the subreddit saying, the devs are banning and censoring legitimate criticism and just people talking about the price point of the game. And the developer responded, well, one of the developers, and said this. And we'll go over it in a second because we kind of have to contrast it to some of the reasons people are being banned. Now, as somebody who moderates my own Discord, or did before I stopped opening it for the last 2 months or so, while I was taking my YouTube break, I've literally not looked at Discord at all. It could be on fucking fire for all I know, or nobody's posting there and everything's okay. It will become active again when I start posting again, hopefully. It is what it is. But as somebody who is a content creator, moderates my own stuff generally, I might have a different opinion on moderation to you watching this video, because, again, I do moderate my own thing, and I am technically like a brand online and like a product, I guess. But I'm also a human being, and nobody's paying money for my service, right? So my opinion on this for my own moderation, how I have always run my moderation, is I don't give a fuck what your opinion is. If I don't like it, if I don't want to see it, it could be, oh, Kira, your hair looks nice today. Oh, Kira, I like your jacket. If I just don't want to see you speaking to me, I will remove you from my shit. Like, that's obviously a ridiculous example. If you're complimenting me, I'm probably not going to ban you. But you know what I mean? For any reason, I don't care what it is, I will just remove people. And I don't feel like I need to justify this for any reason, because you didn't pay to be a part of this. You didn't buy my product. I don't owe you customer service. You're there interacting with me, something I might read, something I might reply to. And if I feel like, for whatever reason, it's not worth my time, or you're annoying or whatever, I'm just going to ban you. And I think if anyone has like a different opinion on that, that's okay. But this is like my area, so it's fucking largely irrelevant what you think. Where this differs is that they are a product. People are paying money for this. and they should be able to have an open discussion. If that open discussion doesn't involve like hate or bigotry or fucking some kind of ism or personal attacks or ad hominem or whatever, you shouldn't be banning people that are just having a cordial, normal conversation. I think that sets a really bad precedent. I think that makes you look really bad as a company. And that's what they've done here. So this person just posts, hey everyone, as someone who's been an avid superhero gamer for years, City of Heroes, Champions Online, DC Universe, Spider-Man, the Arkham games, I was really excited to finally see Ship of Heroes get closer to release. I have to be honest, I don't understand how this is launching at a $60 price tag. Between the graphics, the animations, art direction, or really lack thereof, and the overall presentation, this feels much closer to something that should be in early access for maybe $19.99. It's just not polished enough to stand alongside other $60 titles in today's market. All true. Don't get me wrong, I respect that the devs are trying to build, and I'd love to see it succeed. Superhero MMOs are rare, and we all want something new to invest time in. But the game simply isn't in a state to justify charging full AAA pricing. Launching at $60 honestly risks scaring away a big part of the player base before it even has a chance to grow. I'd love to hear what other fans think. Am I being too harsh, or does anyone else feel like this is overpriced for what we're actually getting right now? There are assumptions in this, because if you've just shown up and you're like, oh, this game's releasing and I like superhero games, you don't know what's in the game to say whether it's worth $60, only visually. So there's an assumption there of what are we getting? But at the same time, I think everyone watching this video can consistently agree that an indie MMO in 2025 from a complete unknown studio, it's probably not going to be worth $60, and the population at launch for $60 with a fucking subscription is going to make the game less populated than it otherwise would be, and therefore less sustainable and less fun on launch, which we all know as MMO gamers is the most fun time of a game. People want to get in on launch, and if you're charging $60 for this, it's not good, right? It's not great. If the devs want to, I respect their decision to do so, but I think objectively this is bad from everything I know about the industry and video games in general. I don't think this is a comment that should get you banned from the fucking subreddit, from the community section on their Steam. And the guy then posts and says, no constructive criticism has been deleted or banned. Is this constructive criticism? I don't know. Maybe, sure, but is it ban-worthy? Absolutely not. Is there anything constructive here other than the game looks bad, it should be less money? I don't consider that necessarily constructive, but at the same time, like, is it ban-worthy? No. But then he goes on to say, to be constructive, you kind of need to not be 100% negative. I mean, he does say he's positively looking forward to like what the game could be, and that he likes this type of game. He's really excited to finally see Ship of Heroes here. So that's positive. None of the critics ever come in and say, I love these 3 features of Ship of Heroes, but these other 2 are not what I like because of X, Y, and Z. Instead, they usually start out asserting some negative opinion as if it's a law of physics, and then moves on to more of the same. It didn't happen. We just read it. This didn't happen. Ship of Heroes has been created with enormous community involvement and support. The community asked for what it wanted, and we are delivering. Trolls are trolls. So this guy's a troll, right? You can fall into this trap as a creator to be like overly negative towards, you know, a lot of people don't, I guess, understand that if you catch me on a bad day, you might be the 50th person I've read say something stupid, and then I'm just going to fucking unload on you. And I'm going to be like, fuck you, fuck everything you stand for. But you're not like the first. You've not just shown up and been like, oh, hey, Kira, you know, I think you could have done better here. Like, you might have a perfectly valid criticism, but I've sifted through like 100 people saying some fucking dumb shit before I got to you. So I can understand how this can happen. But at the same time, again, you've got to hold yourself to better standards when you're a product and you're trying to sell the product to people who are presumably going to use this forum after they paid money to support and talk about your game. It's a community forum about a product that's being charged at a premium price of $60. This is not, you know, just some fucking random unmoderated section of some YouTube channel. He then says, they, as in the trolls, seem to have some sort of entitlement philosophy that sums up as, we are allowed to come into your house and shout at the top of our lungs that your spouse is ugly and your children are stupid. That's not constructive criticism. Nobody did this. This is not... This didn't happen. Like, this guy is delusional. And it is really a shame because, obviously, like, back in the day, before we found out that City of Heroes private servers existed, and there was just people, like, running hidden secret City of Heroes servers, and then somebody outed it, and it's like, this has been happening for years, and they became public. Ship of Heroes, as well as there was another one called like not Vanguard, there was another one, there was like 3 superhero MMOs that originally tried to go to Kickstarter, funded elsewhere, was like, you know, just sort of like in the background making moves. I was waiting to play something like this because I loved City of Heroes back in the day. It was one of my favorite MMOs, and it's a shame to see that, you know, this is what's become of it, and it doesn't look all that great. But I probably would have tried it if it wasn't a monthly subscription with a $60 price tag, because this could be as good. It's not going to be better than City of Heroes, is it? Let's be real. Because City of Heroes was made with a much larger, probably much more competent team, and ran for a much longer period of time with much more money. And City of Heroes, as far as I'm aware, still costs fucking nothing to go and play at this point. Probably would have went and played this had it not been for, you know, the developer being a bit of a fuck knuckle, and also, you know, the game being what it is. But if this game comes out on Steam in the next like 2 hours or whenever it launches, and it breaks 2,000 concurrent players on Steam, which we'll be able to see with SteamDB, I'll be the most surprised motherfucker ever. Do they need 2,000 players? Do they need, you know, hundreds of thousands of cells or anything? Probably not. But at the same time, anything like this, MMOs are a really tricky beast, because you can even see this with much larger games. Once a game's population is unsustainable, as in it's not fun to play anymore, you need the number to constantly remain the same or go up. If it's in a decline, it's just a snowball rolling downhill, and as it rolls downhill, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it's fucked. The game just dies because there's not enough people to do stuff with. Queues are longer, or it's harder to find a group, or there's just not as many people around to socialize with or whatever in these multiplayer shared universes. And then, of course, that causes some people to quit, which compounds the problem and causes more people to quit, which ultra compounds the problem and causes even more people to quit. If you launch in a bad state, a lot of game developers treat this as if like they've got a golden fucking bullet in their gun, chambered, ready to pull the free-to-play pistol and just shoot that golden bullet. But realistically, as we're seeing nowadays, it just doesn't always work out that way. There's just too many things competing for people's attention. And if you're going to launch like this, I don't know, bro. Best of luck to you, I guess. We'll see what happens. Inevitably, I think this is probably going to go down the shitter, but colour me surprised if it doesn't, and we'll see how it goes. But that's the Ship of Heroes pricing drama. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time. Stay safe. Peace.